Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. Do you see why we're smiling? Well, I'm smiling. You can't see your smile from the facial hair. Smiling because we're here. This is the finale. This is the last episode of the Donkey Kong Country TV show, the animated TV show. This is episode 40 of 40. Message in a Bottle show. Episode 14 of season 2. Written by Terry Saltzman. Now, we need to discuss a few things before we get into the meat of this. Firstly, this is not a good finale. Only because it's lazy.
Yes.
It is, ultimately, when it comes down to it, a clip show.
Yep.
It is heavy on flashbacks. And that surprised me. But, after watching it, I reckon this is a solid closing episode. If I see it as that. Now, I can't be sure. I don't think we can be sure that they knew this would be the finale.
Yes.
But why would you do a clip show based around what is the memories of times on Congo Bongo if you didn't know it was the finale?
Yeah, it's very
you wouldn't have this randomly placed. Like, you didn't write this and go, well, that'll be episode 35. It would be a bit weird, right?
It's very difficult.
I think it was the finale. I think it was known.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't be. I mean, they must have had some sort of idea.
There must have been a set episodes ordered,
Yeah.
and this was decided to be the last one, because it plays out like that. It's not like a definitive ending, so to speak. It's not got that. But if you wanted to see it that way, I think you can take it away.
Yeah,
I think you can
Yeah.
deal with that. I think you can deal with the idea of here's our memories, but the same antics will carry on, regardless.
This sort of show, it doesn't really need it. It doesn't really need an ending because it's individual, isn't it?
But I like this as an ending.
Yeah.
I was, after watching it, writing my notes, which are a lot shorter because it's flashbacks, I was kind of like, okay, yeah. I actually am glad this wasn't just a random episode.
Yeah.
That, could have been anywhere else.
Yeah.
This couldn't, to me, have been anywhere else but the end of a season.
Yeah, I mean, everyone hates a show that ends and it leaves it on a cliffhanger and it never really ends.
Okay.
We've had, obviously, things like Starter Troopers. We'll never know what happens.
Well, I feel like that was different. That was written as that should have had an ending.
It should have had, but it was cancelled, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, and I get what you're meaning. I don't misunderstand us, I think. This is not a definitive ending.
Yes.
You're not getting the end come up on the screen or where the island blows up or everyone goes their separate ways or anything like that. You're not getting your Friends ending. You're not getting an ending of Scrubs or anything like that, or Lost or anything like that. But if you want to see this as a finale episode, and bear in mind, this had to be done for season 2. The reason being is because season 2's animation was different. So everything, maybe the stories might have been written and utilised and twisted and turned. But this is a clip show episode to a degree. There's no way this was written anywhere else but an end of either, even if it was written for the end of season 1 and used here. I feel like it was planned. It plays out like that.
And if you watch all to the credits, it ends with K. Rool with Donkey Kong's head.
I thought he was. I thought he was legitimately going to say something that was an after credit thing that I missed.
With blood everywhere.
No.
And holding a coconut. No.
No, don't do that, because I'm like, wait, what? Did I miss something? I've never watched Beyond once the credits started. I stopped watching. Absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to get into it because while it is a clip show, it does have elements. Maybe you'll understand what we mean if you haven't seen the episode yourself. So we begin in fashion that we've started with the last couple, which is basically DK and Diddy just chilling out. They're fishing, enjoying life. And that seems to have been a kind of recurring theme at the start of the last couple.
Yeah.
Which is fine. DK gets a bite and pulls out a bottle with a message in it. And the message inside is written to DK and comes from the future ruler of Future Rulers Federation. And he has been chosen to be the ruler of all rulers. However, it's a 5-year service, so like an election thing. And he must leave to go attend. And it does all this within the first 30 seconds. And you're like, oh, okay. All right, well, that was quick. Cranky now arrives and reads the note and describes it as an honour and good news. Now, here's a plot hole. Remind me when we get to the end and the reveal what happens here. Cranky reads the note here. Reads it.
Yeah, he reads it,
and describes it as an honour and good news. And he plans to throw DK a pie, a goodbye pie. And you're kind of thinking, well, there'll be some antics before. No, we cut straight to the pie.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, all right then. Bear in mind, like I said, I'm writing the notes as I'm watching, so I have no idea what's coming up. And everyone is there. And Diddy tries to tell a story before he's booed off the stage. I like that, because sometimes Diddy, in the overall, the whole show, deserves to be booed off the stage.
He's a very poor character, He's not the worst character.
Why do you say things like that? A poor character. Diddy's a good character.
Everyone hates Diddy. Come on, man.
No, he doesn't.
No one likes Diddy.
Diddy Kong Racing is a great kart game.
That's only because you're forced to play it. If Donkey Kong was on that cover, everyone would prefer it.
I'm outraged. Outraged. Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, Diddy Kong Racing is the third, maybe, because it's been a while since I've played it. It could rank higher than Crash Team Racing.
Oh, come on,
Diddy Kong Racing is amazing. Like playing as him in Donkey Kong Country games. I am pro Diddy Kong.
Everyone knows it's Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, and then Race of Ryan. Come on, man. I'm joking.
He then introduces the first speaker, and it's Eddie, who talks about the time we first meet DK and we get flashbacks of their interactions. Eddie then hugs DK and Funky takes to the stage, and Funky does one of his speeches before several of their experiences in the plane is retold and reshown. And I was like, damn, this is a disappointing way to end the show. Because at this point I was like, oh, really doing this? Oh, that's a bit of a shame.
It's like a funeral, man. All saying their goodbyes, man.
Well, they are saying their goodbyes. 5 years is a long time. But this part goes on for quite a while as we get more memories of Old Funky, and it just keeps going on and on and on. The one thing I like about this is Funky talks non-stop through it, but from Funky style. Yeah. So it's nonsensical as hell. And he finally leaves the stage and shares a high five with Donkey Kong. Bluster is introduced, and after bigging himself up, he also goes through some of his memories of time with DK, but mainly the times DK screwed things up for him. He suggests that with DK gone, he might be able to fill his shoes, and then cut to memories of Bluster hitting on Candy. DK ends up taking over his flashback, though, to reflect on his and Candy's relationship. We get something quite meta here, as Bluster, coming off the stage, says to him, like, how did you take over my flashback and stuff like that? And later, K. Rool did the same, we like, get your own flashback. Yeah. I did laugh at that.
It is funny,
Candy now takes the stage, and DK figures she'll miss him, but she declares that's the best thing that ever happened to him. Nice, Candy. Real nice.
Yep, so now you can finally get a Bluster, yeah?
Yeah. Well, 5 years is a long time.
It is a long time.
DK suggests that she'll miss his kisses, and we flash back to the times they kissed, but most of them resulted in an interruption. Candy declares now that nothing will interrupt them. But K. Rool, Clump and Crusher burst in, interrupting her. I laughed. I'm sorry, that was clever. Yeah. And they demand to be part of the party. And DK agrees, provided they behave. Yeah.
I like it, because I'm telling you.
They're always part of the same ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Clump now takes to the stage, and we flash back to the many times they got their asses kicked by DK. Clump and Crusher hug, crying about missing DK once he is gone. Now, of course, it's K. Rool's turn, and it's flashbacks of their interactions. K. Rool suggests that he might retire once DK is gone, but not before he finishes some tasks he has left.
Why retire, man? This is your chance. When he goes, the coconut...
Well, he does. He literally says some tasks as we flash back to the times K. Rool was managed to get the coconut. But once again, DK interrupts the flashback to show DK getting the coconut back each time, and that's where we get the whole get your own flashbacks. Yeah. But K. Rool does hug him after. I like that. It's Cranky's turn. And oh my god, I was outraged about this. Guess Dixie doesn't get a turn. She's here at the party. Yep. We see her briefly. She gets a line. But apparently Dixie Kong does not have any memories to share.
Yeah,
because she was barely in the show.
Yeah, I mean, one or two episodes maybe?
She popped up maybe about 3 or 4. Yeah, but only a major player, I think, in 1 or 2.
Yeah.
The one where she befriends Clump, I think is her major episode. But there you go. You have memories. Have her take the stage and deliver memories from that one.
Because I always thought like her and Diddy were sort of in a...
Well, they do. They kiss, right, in another episode. But it's weird. Their relationship, the whole thing is weird. Yeah. I don't get it. But yeah, it's Cranky's turn. And Cranky tells DK that he loves him and that he sees him as a son. That was really, really surprising.
Deep, man.
Yeah. And we get flashbacks of Cranky insulting DK, basically his way of saying he cared.
Yeah.
They then share a hug. And finally, it's the ape of the hour, as Diddy introduces him first. But he gives some flashbacks of their moments together too, Diddy and DK. DK gets a round of applause as he gets on stage. You can kind of see people, why finale?
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
And he talks about Congo Bonko before he has flashbacks of his time, of many times he swung into trees, fell over, and so on. So basically, it's like a whole, I know the island at the back of my hand, except he keeps tripping over, banging into stuff. Then it's flashbacks to his interactions with all the other apes, even though it wasn't always good. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't believe for a second that DK was leaving. I thought they'd find a way to get around this and so on, that kind of thing. Which is what we really get to now. DK starts to reread the letter, but it is revealed it was actually for Monkey Kong, not Donkey Kong. And here's your plot hole. Cranky read this letter at the start and didn't read that part. Didn't read the Monkey Kong part. Mm-hmm. Dear Monkey Kong. What, just skip to the bit where he was asked to come and leave?
Yep.
Yes.
So was that Cranky just being a dickhead?
No, it's a plot hole.
It's a plot, yeah.
And it's bad. What they should have just done was had DK read the letter to Cranky when Cranky first appeared.
Yeah.
And that would have been it. Yeah.
Or just leave that out entirely and DK leaves. End of the show.
No.
Because it's the perfect ending.
Maybe it would have been an interesting idea.
Because now they've. But I suppose they did it in a way where they left it open for maybe a possible return.
Of course,
more
more antics.
Yes.
Because of course this is based off. The reason we're doing this is based on video games.
Yeah.
Remember that, so it never ends. Okay, Rule's behaviour never ends. So DK doesn't have to leave, and he's happy. Everyone gets angry about having to throw the party for him and then leave. And DK tries to get it back on track, but no one is interested. And the end.
Yeah.
That's how we end. That is how we end Donkey Kong Country TV show. And while I don't think it's a strong closing episode, because it's a clip show and all that, I was weirdly satisfied. I was weirdly like, yeah, I'm okay with this.
Yeah. I mean, it was a weird episode, but for me, the DK and Carol bit were the best bits.
Yep.
Yeah, because obviously, but both enemies, sort of. I don't know, best friends, enemies, sort of like they.
No, I think it's enemies, but I think it's one of those where they may not know what to do without the other. I think it's more that than anything else. It's hard to break it down in like respect and stuff like that because we are talking about an animated show here.
Yeah.
It's aimed at children and antics and stuff like that. For kids' basis, you were never going to send DK off because it's a sad ending.
Yeah.
It's a sad ending. This is just a continuation. But what they did in this episode for me was just show you that history in quick format. When we say flashbacks, they're very fast-paced flashbacks.
Yeah.
And they do jump back to the party with people talking and stuff like that enough. So it's not like, I'd say out of the 22 minutes, about 6 or 7 minutes, maybe 8 or 9 is flashbacks. So it's not like all of the episode is that. It's just, I don't know. I guess I just picture in my head a more definitive finale that would have been like, oh, what a cool way to go out, you know? And obviously we didn't get that.
Yeah. So, but then again, that also brings back the argument: did they know it was ending? Or
it's an argument. You're right that we can never fully say yes or no to. But I go back to what I said at the start. Based off how this plays out, based off the fact that they went with a memory thing, a story around that, and then just had it end where more antics to come next time, says to me, this was 100% supposed to be the last episode. Because again, you come down to it, it's not like it got cancelled halfway through.
No.
Episodes were freaking ordered. This is how many episodes we need. Get them done.
As you said, there's so many video games, so potentially it could always come back.
Well, I would have to check the dates 100%, but by this point, was this pre-Donkey Kong 64? Had Donkey Kong 64 been released? Because obviously the original Donkey Kong countries were all out.
Yeah.
But Donkey Kong 64 may have been around the same time. And obviously we wouldn't then get a Donkey Kong game for many, many years later.
What was the last one?
But we've not had any new shows. We've not had anything new from this. This is literally the done thing.
Yeah.
I would like to see it come back. I think it could very much work nicely as an animated show actual animation on like YouTube or something like that.
Yep.
In this similar format, but maybe from a more modern standpoint with some interesting ideas. Maybe not always putting a focus on DK, but covering all the apes,
Yep.
giving Candy more focus, working on other different things, tying it into the games. I think there'd be a lot of interesting ideas you could do, but follow this similar format.
Yeah, yeah.
But there we go. Yeah, I almost don't know how to end this video. You know, I'm kind of like, I don't want to cover the series as a whole because we are going to do a tier list ranking every single episode. Which is going to be a fucking mess, I can tell you now. But we're going to give it our best, and probably that will be our. We may also do a tier list ranking the characters because I think there's at least around 15 characters to make that tier list worthwhile to decide which was our favourite.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult to end this show, you know, because obviously near the end we were happy to defer it because we got to a point where like
Sick of it.
We've had enough, yeah.
Yeah.
But we've done some really good TV shows, some really okay ones, and yeah, it's still like, okay, well, it's done now.
To put this in context, you are watching this, and this is episode 40. This has been a weekly show.
Yep.
That means we have done this week by week for 40 weeks. There are 52 weeks in a year,
Yep.
and we've done it for 40. 40 weeks of Donkey Kong Country. That makes it sad to end. It's always sad whenever I end a show. You know, unrelated, but Goosebumps is ending. And I had the same feeling about that one. I'm like, oh, okay. And then all it means is we're going to move on to the next thing. We already have the replacement for Donkey Kong Country set up. Give you a hint. It's animated again, and it's short, and it's on YouTube. X amount, but we'll get to that in the future. But for now, this has been episode 40, the finale of Donkey Kong Country Message in a Bottle show. The end. You got any thoughts? You want to share with us? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?